Hey everyone, happy Monday. All right, I'm just gonna give some people some time to hop on here before I get started. We're just gonna discuss the two cards that I pulled this morning for everyone, okay? Like I said, I'll just give people a couple minutes to hop on here. Oscar, that's my dog. Everybody knows you're here. Everybody knows you're here. Okay. All right, guys, so we're going to kind of get started today. And like I said, we're going to discuss right now the two cards that I pulled earlier. And this is kind of the process that we're going to do starting every Monday. So this morning, when I was pulling the cards, an extra one actually like popped out of the deck while I was shuffling. And sometimes that can be an indication that, you know, that specifically is the only card that you should be seeing. Sometimes it's, you know, like a double card reading. So I just intuitively asked if there was another card that I should be pulling, and you know, I received that there was, so I pulled two. So we're going to discuss two today. And normally I would just be pulling one card. So the two that I pulled today, I think were very interesting, that, you know, they're both from the Gospel of Luke. So I'm not really sure what that says, but, you know, maybe we should be just focusing on that gospel for a little bit. But, you know, we'll talk about them today, and then throughout the week I'll discuss other things about them, and then we'll also kind of dissect where you can use specific crystals to work on the messages that are coming from both of these cards. Okay? Hey Dana! Sorry. I'm outside. It's very sunny. Obviously, that's why I have these glasses on, and you know, so I apologize for the glasses and you guys not being able to like see my eyes, but I literally can't see if I don't have them on. So, okay. All right, let's see here. So the first card that we're going to talk about is Luke 21:36, and I'll show you guys this card again. Okay, and it says pray always. Okay, pray always. And like I said to a couple people that commented on these cards, I think it's important too that, you know, during the card pick, if you're feeling specifically drawn to a certain card, then spend a little bit of time, you know, looking at this card and kind of meditating on the card for a couple of minutes, because sometimes, you know, more things can come up for us. You know, while we're looking at the image, you may even notice specific things about the card that, you know, you can relate to. So just keep that in mind, that you always want to take some time to look at the card as well. And I found that certain ones that I really resonate with, or if they're like really answering a question that I've had, that I feel a very peaceful feeling when I look at them. So just take a couple minutes, you know, it doesn't have to be real long, just take a couple minutes and try to focus on that card as well, whichever one is resonating with you. Okay, so once again, this is from Luke 21:36. So I want to actually read to you very quickly the actual passage. That's like part of the passage, but you can see that's my Oscar in the background. He's my son. Okay, so let me see here. And I use King James Version, just so you guys know. You don't have to, that's just what I prefer. But I'm going to read the actual passage in here, and then we'll go from there. So Luke 21:36 says, "Watch ye therefore and pray always, that ye may be accounted worthy to escape all these things that shall come to pass, and to stand before the Son of Man." So that is that's the full passage. Okay, sorry. Oh, you're not okay. Yeah, I'm gonna repost this, the replay. So if you're not able to watch now, you'll still be able to watch it later. Okay, that's no problem at all. Okay, so that is the full passage, you know, and so prayer is such an important thing, okay? And you know, the main thing that entire verse is telling us is that, you know, through prayer, you're going to be able to move through all worrisome situations, and in the end be standing with Jesus. That's really the message that it's, you know, trying to give you. So if you are feeling any lack of love, you know, all you need to do is ask Jesus to show you his presence. And I can honestly tell you that ever since I started doing that, you know, I can feel my relationship getting stronger and stronger. And sometimes I feel that as soon as I ask that, for his presence to be with me, or, you know, to be standing next to me, and I know that he is always with me, but it's like kind of, I don't know, it seemed different to me to actually ask for that presence to be there, that I can actually feel it. And, you know, that happened over time. So, you know, I kind of like to, I like to describe like intuition and feeling these feelings as a muscle, because it is a muscle and you have to work at it, and the more you work at it, the easier it will become. You know, so keep that in mind, that if you start, you know, asking to feel his presence and you're not really feeling it first, you know, sometimes we can be very, very distracted and have a lot of clutter in our head, and that could be why we're not really connecting. So don't get discouraged. Keep working at it, and over time you will start to feel that. Okay, so if you are, like I said, feeling any lack of love in any way, you know, you can ask Jesus for his presence to be shown to you and for him to stand by you, and you do that through prayer. Like I said, he's always with you, but it is okay to ask for that, you know, extra boost of energy to actually feel him next to you. So one time somebody said to me, how much time do you spend talking to yourself, being stuck in your head? And I said a lot of time. You know, I'm stuck in my head a lot of the time, whether you're thinking about things that you need to do, you're worried about things, even when you're thinking about good things, you're stuck in your head a lot. Oh, maybe your computer? I don't know. Okay, but like I said, I am going to put the replay on here. So if you spent all of that time that you know, that you were using stuck in your head actually talking to God, do you have any idea how much you would transform your life? I mean, seriously. So think about that the next time you are obsessing about things, and you're, you know, be aware of your self-talk, how you're speaking to yourself about things and the situations that are happening in your life. And if you just stop talking to yourself about it and start talking to God about it, you will see big changes in your life. Big changes, I'm telling you. Because God hears everything anyway, but it's a different kind of thing when you are specifically asking for help from him. When you're specifically asking for it, I'm telling you. So think about that the next time you're really stuck in your head. And, you know, prayer is a great way also to be learning patience. And patience is one of the things that during the week we're going to talk about, kind of dissecting this passage a little bit more. So we have to be patient, because even though we're praying for things, sometimes we think things are supposed to happen like right now in our lives, but they're not. So we will get the things that we pray for, but when we're supposed to get them, not when we want them. And that's kind of the hardest part. And that's a really difficult part of faith, because you may swear up and down and think, you know, 100% that you are supposed to have a specific thing in your life right now, but if you're not having it, if you're not getting it, if your prayers aren't being answered right now, it's for a reason. Okay, so you have to be patient and trust that God will answer your prayers when you are supposed to have them answered. Okay, now sometimes our patience can be a test. So God wants to see if we're ready for this thing that we're asking for. Maybe there are a couple other things that we need to work on and build in ourselves before we're actually ready to handle what we're asking for. So keep that in mind as well, that it's not that God isn't hearing you or isn't answering your prayers. You might just really not be ready for it yet. So if you're feeling impatient, step back and see what else you can work on. What else can you change in yourself in a positive way that will bring you a little bit closer to being ready for whatever it is that you're asking for. So it happens on God's time, not on your time. That's very, very important to remember. Whoop. Sorry, it's so windy out here, my goodness. Okay, so what else about prayer? So prayer also obviously strengthens your relationship with God, and it allows you to become more understanding that all things happen for a reason. So this kind of goes back to what I was talking about being patient with things, and they're not happening for some reason. Okay, so everything does and does not happen for a reason, and sometimes we don't understand it now, but later in life we will. We can look back and say, wow, that thing that I really wanted to happen that didn't, it really was a blessing in disguise. Okay, so you know, it's really about going through life, seeing these difficult times or these frustrating times as, what can I learn from this? Okay, why am I not ready for what I'm asking for? Okay, Oscar, sorry, he is barking at another dog. Come here. All right, good boy. Calm down. Calm down. Okay. So prayer also helps you to feel more appreciative for the happy moments that you have in life. And it's going to be easier for you to appreciate these things because they're going to happen more often. So the more you look for happy situations, happy circumstances, and you're noticing them, that's what you're focusing on, so that's what you're going to attract more of in your life. Okay, so like I said, when you do come across tough times and tough situations, they're teaching moments, and that's so important to remember, that they are teaching moments. Okay, this isn't that God isn't listening to you, it's not that you're a bad person, it's not that you're not doing something right. You're supposed to learn something from this, and God has to test us, like I said, to make sure that we're ready for what we're asking for. Okay, so he's going to test us to make sure that we're ready for the next steps and the next level in our lives. And through this realization, you will begin to see how strong of a person you actually are. And this will significantly help your love of yourself and of your life. So, you know, God would never give you a situation that you couldn't handle. It just wouldn't happen. And he's always there to pull you through to the other side. So remember that he would never give you more than you could handle on your plate. Okay? It's just that you have to figure out exactly what you're supposed to be learning from those tough times and those tough situations that you feel like when you feel like you're lost and you don't know where to go. There's something for you to learn there. And also, if you have repetitive things that are coming up in your life, hey, this always happens to me, I'm always in this situation. Well, it's because you haven't learned your lesson yet. That's why. You have not learned that lesson yet. And God is putting that situation in your life over and over and over again until you learn the lesson. So be aware of that. Look out for those signs, okay? I do believe that you are given these opportunities as your choice to make your own happiness. Yeah, it absolutely is your choice to make your own happiness. And I feel that, you know, that we are given certain situations to learn certain things, okay? That's kind of, sorry. You know, we experience certain things so we can learn certain things about ourselves, certain things about other people, you know, how we want to shape our views and our own character, okay? But yes, we are in complete control of our own happiness. And like I said, the more you focus on the positive and happy things that are happening in your life, the more you will notice them, and the easier will be to identify them and focus solely on them. So whatever you're focusing on, that's what you're going to be attracting into your life, okay? So with this passage, we are going to be talking a little bit more about patience later in the week, and we'll be going over some crystals that you can use for their energy to develop your patience, and that you can use during prayer if you're feeling impatient. Okay. All right. So the next one we're going to go over. Let me see here. Okay. This is also from the Gospel of Luke. Okay, Luke 7:50. Okay, so I'll show you guys this card again here. Okay, and remember, take a minute to to look at these cards and see if anything is coming up for you in regards to these cards. Okay, this is a very interesting one. So, your faith hath saved you. Go in peace. Okay, so this can mean many, many different things. And when I was thinking about this earlier, I actually went back and I read the entire passage. This is the end of that chapter. This is the last verse in chapter 7. So it was, let me see here, it was from chapter 7, 36 through 50, okay? And I can find and post this entire passage in the group, because it really is interesting to read the entire thing, because I think if we just looked at that one sentence, we might get a different perspective as if when we read the entire story behind it and what was going on. So I'm just going to briefly tell you what that entire passage was about, and like I said, I will post that for you in the group when we're all done here. Okay, so the entire story about that one sentence starts with that Jesus was invited into a Pharisee's home to eat. So he went in there. A woman who was a sinner found out that he was in this Pharisee's home eating. So she came to the house and she brought with her a box of ointment and oils. So as she was there, she found Jesus. She began crying. She was kneeling at him, sitting behind him and on her knees, and she was crying. And she began to wash Jesus's feet with her tears, and she was drying them with her hair. And then when she was finished, she anointed his feet with the oil that she brought. Like I said, because she knew that he was going to be there. So the Pharisee that he was eating with questioned why Jesus let her do this. Like, what is this all about? What's going on? So Jesus began to teach through the example that, let's say that two people owed you money. One owed you $500 and the other owed you $50. And neither of them could pay you back. So instead of just badgering them for the money, you decided to forgive both of them. So neither of them owed you any more money. So because of this, which one of them should love you the most? Should it be the one who you forgave the $500, or should it be the one that you forgave the $50? So in asking this question, giving this example and asking this question to the Pharisee, he answered Jesus and said that the one that you forgave the most, meaning the $500, should love you the most. So Jesus continued to explain that even though he was invited to the Pharisee's house to eat, the Pharisee did not wash his feet, did not kiss him when he came in, did not anoint him with any oil, as the sinner did. So the sinner sought him out and did these things. So her sins were forgiven because of her faith. And for those who show little faith, little is forgiven. And then they end up loving little. So you don't just love Jesus because he's forgiven you. You are forgiven because you love Jesus. And we forget that piece. you know? We forget that piece. So due to her faith, she was able to walk away in peace, cleansed of her sins. So faith leads to forgiveness, and forgiveness leads to love. And in the end, that's all, that's what we're all looking for, right? Oh, was it Mary Magdalene? I will look that up and get back to you. I will look that up and get back to you, absolutely. I just read this specific piece, so I can go further and read to make sure and confirm that that was. I will do that for you, absolutely. So, you know, this message is so important because, like I said, in the end, we're all looking for love of ourselves, love of the life that we are living right now. So, you know, by having so much faith, you will be forgiven, and you will be able to forgive others as well. And this really has so much to do, excuse me, with our heart chakras. And I always think that it's important to remind everyone that when we talk about the heart chakra, it's not just about kindness and unconditional love, even though it is about those things, but the heart chakra is also about forgiveness, okay? So keep that in mind. It's also about forgiveness, because through forgiveness, it's going to lead to love. And that's just what it leads to. And as you begin to feel that you are forgiven for your sins, and that you feel that it's easier for you to forgive other people, you know, you will start feeling that love in your life. Absolutely, you will. So I encourage you guys to meditate on these pictures and on these words a little bit. You know, if you're more drawn to one, that's fine. If you're drawn to both of them, then take a couple minutes to just kind of, you know, meditate on these verses and look at the pictures as well and see if anything is coming up for you. So during the week, we're going to talk a little bit more about this. We're going to dissect these verses a little bit more, and I'll talk to you guys about which crystals are best for your energy if you feel that one of these is, you know, very specific to what you need to be working on in your life right now. Okay, so I just want to thank you guys so much for participating today. I'm very excited to get these new activities up and running for you. And you know, if you are having a really tough time with something, please message me, okay? I have an open door policy. Absolutely message me. You know, if you feel that, you know, if you're resonating with these cards and you feel like maybe you need a specific question answered and that would be helpful, I would be more than willing to pull a card for you, okay? I have no problem with that. So let me know if you need help with anything, and like I said, we'll be discussing more of this during the week. Okay, so let me know your questions. Have a beautiful, beautiful Monday, okay? And like we talked about last week, don't make Monday the worst day of the week, okay? This is the day that you have to set your intentions for the week, to make it a positive week, okay? So think of something positive that you can do as your intention for this week. And maybe it's something as simple as, you know, participating in these discussions, you know, to try to see what you can get out of them. It could be something as simple as that. Okay, so I will talk to you guys a little bit later. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.